Alright, hey guys, it's Misty Eyez and
Amanda Austin.
And we're going to do an Ask Misty while we are getting ready for work. Alright, dear Misty, my boyfriend is a drag queen and I, a woman, often travel with him to help with his stage anxiety and his makeup. Recently, I was helping him take his stuff into the dressing area and another queen was rude to me and made it clear I was not welcome back there. I felt awful. Is this normal? Thanks. Alright, you go first.
Well, I think it depends on the venue, because a lot of times, like, we're in a show we do every week together, so we know each other, we trust each other, and we all do our own hair and makeup, and unless there's someone in a number that we're doing that particular night, we don't really allow visitors in the dressing room, because we trust each other, but we don't necessarily know the other people that are in there. So it just depends on the venue, what the rules are. Generally, I don't like people in the dressing room that I don't know, because sometimes if you're in a hurry and you're running to change or something, you'll throw down jewelry, and I've had that walk off. I'll throw down my tips. I've had those walk off. And if you kind of control the number of people that are in the dressing room, then you have less problems with that. And also, there's another gig that I do once a month, and there's 4 of us, and literally it's the size of like a public restroom. So if you can imagine 4 queens in a room that's already full of stuff that's not meant to be a dressing room, there's not space. So sometimes it can be security issues, sometimes it can be space issues, and then sometimes it's just girls, maybe because they're, I don't know if they were trans performers or if they were male performers, but I would kind of feel a little uncomfortable if I was in a state of undress as a man for a biological woman to be there. So that could be it. But they shouldn't have been rude. They should have just asked you nicely or maybe explained the reason why. But sometimes when you're in a hurry, you're doing a show or there's alcohol involved, shit happens. So don't take it personally. And yes, it is sometimes common.
Yes. The first question you ask is, or the last question rather, is this normal? Yes, I definitely think 100% it is normal. I remember the first time it happened to me, I was in Orlando. I was at the Parliament House, and I've performed there many times, and I've done pageants there and competitions there, and it was a show that I was not in, and I went backstage, and I remember Darcel, the MC, snapped at me. It was in the middle of a show, and she's like, "You can't be back here." And I'm like, I wasn't in drag, and it was years ago when I was not transitioning, and I was like, "It's Misty Eyez," and she's like, "You can't be back here. I'll buy you a drink after the show. Meet me at the bar after the show." But I was also mortified and embarrassed and humiliated, and I left. I was like, and I had a taste in my mouth like I never wanted to come back. But yes, like Amanda said, every dressing room that I know of, you can't be backstage unless you're in the show. Now, in your situation, you're helping your boyfriend bring his stuff backstage. I think absolutely 100% in any situation, if someone is carrying your luggage, for example, the Tranny Palace, you're welcome to help them bring in their stuff. But after you bring in their stuff, that is the time for you to exit and leave. Unless, of course, you're doing his hair or makeup, and then usually that would be a pageant scenario, and everyone in a pageant is allowed one helper. But yes, I have told many, many, many people they are welcome backstage at Tranny Palace. And I try to do it in the nicest way possible. Like, honey, you can't be backstage. But no matter how I say it, they always think I'm a huge bitch and it's not done, whatever. And there's no nice way to do it. So usually I try to get someone else to do it, like, because I don't want to be the evil one. But the reality is, like Amanda said, stuff disappears backstage all the time. And earrings, jewelry, tops, skirts, whatever. And yes, there are known drag queens that are kleptomaniacs. And then they're like, you don't have any idea who it is. And you're like, did anybody see my whatever? You definitely don't want to be the guest or the friend of somebody backstage. And you're like, something went missing. And everyone's going to blame you because they don't know you. So on that situation, I would definitely not want to be backstage, because then you're going to be blamed for something that somebody else did. And I'm not going to say that would help someone as an alibi. I'd be like, it wasn't me, it was that bitch over there. if they were going to be a klepto or whatever. But drag queens are known for stealing anyway, in general. Or at least a lot of them are. I don't think so much in the shows that I work in, very few theft happens.
Knock on wood, I haven't had anything stolen in like 3 years, but...
Yeah. But it happens. Or from normally what happens at China House is like somebody's like, can I borrow your lip gloss? And then it never comes back. But I know who has it. Or bonding glue or whatever.
Right.
But again, it's gone. But yes, I'm so sorry that you felt uncomfortable in the dressing area. But a lot of times, especially the old bills, there was a couch, and a lot of girls or the trannies would bring their boyfriends or their tricks or their sugar daddies or their whatever, and the daddies would sit backstage and just watch the girls get changed.
Creepy.
And that's creepy McCreeperson. And it's like, no, that's not okay. You can't have anybody back here, because they just sit there on the couch and literally stare at all the girls. And backstage, there's titties out and dicks out, and no, that's not okay. So, for security issues and fight reasons and theft reasons and just creepy reasons, nobody's allowed backstage unless you're in the show. And that's, at least for my show specifically, and I think most shows in the world, very few backstages allow anyone to come back there. I remember old Voodoo, everyone that thought they were a VIP could run into the dressing room, but their dressing room was like an entire bar area. So it wasn't...
Unless you're lucky to have
obvious.
your own, like, private dressing room.
Oh yeah, if you have your own private dressing room, then anybody you want can be in there. But generally speaking, no. That is very normal for them to escort you out. But again, like Amanda said, they should have been nice about it. But it's kind of hard to be nice in telling somebody that they can't do something they want to do.
Especially when that's the 9th time you've done it in the past 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, especially the 10 minutes. You're like, you can't be back here. And then it's your first time, but it's my 20th time saying, you can't be back here. So now on Sundays, thank God, we have a security guard watching the dressing room. And people still manage to run backstage, but it's very few now because he helps with that. But anyways, that was an Ask Misty with Misty Eyez and
Amanda Austin.
Loving You Is Easy.